What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Grey Man Operations. A very different video. Today we're going to be talking about one-man CQB. Before we go further, guys, remember everything in this video is an opinion. Nothing is a recommendation. I very often get asked questions via DM like, hey Ryan, I just got my first pistol, or I just got my first rifle. Who do I speak to about learning to clear my house and what I should do and how I should do it? I personally believe the concept of one-man CQB is incredibly dangerous. If you can, if it's safe to do so, if someone breaks into my house, I'm sitting in the corner of my room with my gun pointed at the door, and I'm going to let my bad guy choose what he wants his day to go like. But I'm certainly not going to be running through my house clearing it like I am a team of special forces. Those guys have special training. They work as teams. And it's basically not one-man CQB if you have a team with you. So I'm going to use the medium of technology and video games to explain to you my struggles with the concept of one-man CQB, how difficult it is. Remember, guys, this is a video game. And I just want to also stipulate I'm not an instructor. I consider myself a trained amateur. I've done many courses. I've fired many rounds. I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to speak to some serious people often on a daily basis, but I'm not an instructor, so you have to take this with a pinch of salt. Everything in this video is an opinion, nothing is a recommendation, and I just hope it's fun, and I hope you guys learn something, and yeah, leave a comment down below what your thoughts are. If you are a Special Forces dude, and I'm saying something wrong, please excuse me. Like I said, I'm merely a trained amateur, and everything in this video is simply my opinion. Let's do it. Okay, guys, remember this is a video game. Okay, so I'm going to do the best I can to replicate what will kind of be like a realistic circumstance. We've got our main guy here, Staff Sergeant Storm. He's got a SCAR, but also a Glock 19 X pistol, and he's going to be running hollow point rounds. What is that? 147 grain jacketed hollow point, and he's also going to be running his normal irons like most of us would be running in real life. He's going to have like this a helmet and a vest with plates and things like that, but I can't remove those things, so we just have to go with it. I am going to remove his ability to have his SCAR though. Okay, so let's get into the planning phase. Let's just cancel that. So we've got two guys. I'm going to tell our guy Woody to head to the corner. He's going to have to sit in the corner and not play along. I'm going to tell Storm to switch out to his secondary weapon. So this game, it's Door Kickers 2 Task Force North. It's like a strategic CQB game where you can basically pause time whenever you want. Now, the reason I chose this map is it's kind of like a normal house. Imagine this is like your study, or even this could be like the doorway into your garage, from your garage into your house. You're just getting home. This is your kitchen and dining area. You've got a little hallway here, and then you've got the master bedroom with, let's call it, a walk-in closet. The master bathroom, we've got your kids' bedroom right here, and your kids' little ensuite situation. So it's kind of like a normal house, and imagine you are Storm and you've just gotten home and people have broken in and they're holding your son hostage in this room. It's a guy that's a hostage, so I'm going to call it your son. Your wife's out, or maybe it's your wife, whatever, I don't care. This hostage is probably not going to make it, given that it's one-man CQB. I'm going to do my best to use the tools in this game to survive and explain to you the struggles of one-man CQB. So we also have a sniper over here, but I'm just going to assume that Storm can't see these guys. As they work through the house, these little blue areas, your dead space, will become lit up as Storm sees it visually, but that'll happen in real time. Okay, so situation is you've got a door right here. Now the problem for me personally is if this was two-man, the breacher could open the door, breach that door, your number two man would then walk in, and the person behind him or the breacher would then buttonhook, and you guys would be able to break down your corners and establish points of domination simultaneously. The problem is, let's say there's a guy here, which there is. If I open this door, I can only point my firearm in one direction. If there's also a guy here, that becomes a problem for me. Whereas if it's two-man, and this is why I believe CQB is a multi-person thing, as far as is humanly possible. If it's two, then I can be working this guy and our backup guy can be working that guy. What will more than likely happen is I will flow in and take out people in my sector, and my second guy will flow in and take out people in his sector. But we're one team, so, or one man, so we don't have that option. So I'm gonna have Storm open this door and then hang back like here, right? And he's gonna be looking down this way. The reason I want to do that for the moment is because that way anyone here won't have a shot on me. Ordinarily, you never want to be in a doorway. Doorways are doorways to heaven. But because we're alone, we don't have much of a choice. So he's going to hang back and focus in this direction and see what he can do with everything that is here. So let's have him move to that door and open it and see what we can do. Okay, so I'm obviously operating under the assumption that I did not see this guy. The fact that I did see him, I would have altered my tactics here, but Storm himself would not have been able to see this dude, so we're going to have to operate as if he didn't see this dude. This guy is now aware, uh-oh, something is happening, and you can sort of see his field of view lit up by the red here. So I'm going to have Storm take a step back, putting himself kind of out of reach. We're going to assume that bullets aren't going to penetrate this wall. Walls in South Africa are generally made of brick, and your AK round is not going to go through that. And as it does so, he's going to keep focused down this way. But I want him to rather just keep pieing what he can of that corner. Okay, so we are 2 seconds in and Storm hasn't spotted anybody. I'm going to allow 2 more seconds, let's say 3 more seconds to go by, just to let the situation develop. Okay, so nothing's happened. So we are relatively comfortable that there is no bad guys in this area. I can't say for certain that there are no bad guys over here and over here. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. So now we're going to move across and pie this doorway from within the room, which isn't the best idea, but it's the only option we have. And Storm is quickly going to find out he's going to have to make an engagement. Okay, so there's actually 2 guys here. This is a good learning curve, guys. Remember when I was doing that video, I think it was Agent from Kinetic Solutions, his best use of 50 rounds of ammunition. He would run near far targets. So this is, if you're on the range, this is your near, say, 7-meter target, and that's your 15-meter target. A Storm is going to have to transition to a near far sight picture quite expeditiously before this guy gets that AK up and into the fight. And he puts him down. So it's 2 shots fired, 2 bad guys dead. But obviously the bad guys now know we are here. And so we're going to have to move a bit more expeditiously. Now, I am going to breach into this room now. Even though I, as the person who lives here, knows that there's 2 tables here, there might be a cheeky bad guy either on or under these tables. I have to clear that dead space. I have to clear this dead space as well. So as soon as I cross this threshold, I'm going to have to focus on one of these 2 dead spaces. Okay? Realistically, I think there's more likely to be a bad guy here than crouched underneath the table or standing on top of the table. So I'm going to try to clear as much of this area as I can from about here. And as soon as I break this doorway, I'm going to focus on this direction. So we're going to flow in, and I want him to hold short on this wall. And at this point, I want him to be looking down this way, keeping this hallway covered. So we're going to try to get as much information there as possible, but as soon as he moves past this door, I want him to focus on that area, and then he can start tearing down this room.
They're here!
See how it goes. Okay, so he's spotted. I really hope he makes this, take the shot. Okay, we're going to have to get him to keep focusing in that direction. Taking a shot on the move. So, 1-man CQB. Look at this situation. In real life, the potential for this guy to be putting shots into my back is high. If he's a normal bad guy, shall we say, he's probably just going to spray and pray down this hallway. Right? This is a video game, guys, so we have to take that into consideration. At this point, I'm probably dead. Okay? And even to make those shots, it's going to be really, really difficult. So, like I said, we're playing a video game. Bear that in mind. But if you want to do one-man CQB, you're going to have this level of ability. So, once he's taken down this bad guy over here, I'm going to have him switch immediately to down the hallway. And hopefully he doesn't take rounds. Okay, so he's taken out our bad guy. What have we shot now? We've got 8 shots of our 17 round mag left in. Now the problem here is as follows. We've got a doorway here, a doorway here, a doorway here, and a doorway here that is open. And our one-man CQB team can only point his firearm in one direction at a time. So I don't want to go down this hallway, because if someone puts a gun out of this doorway or this doorway or this doorway and sprays and prays, they're almost certainly going to hit me. I'd rather clear this house from this area. And if I have a kid, I don't have a kid, but I'm assuming you all that do have kids, you're going to go to your kid's bedroom first, right? So it just makes logical and moral sense to fight the battle we can win, or the easier battle, which is to clear down this way, possibly coming out here, although I think I'll probably just reverse and come back out here and then look at the master bathroom and work the master bedroom. So let's just let the situation develop. I'll give it 3 seconds to go by. Okay, and that's where we allow the situation to develop. Had I started moving backwards, I would likely have missed this dude, and now it is a battle to see who can get sights on target first. Remember guys, a gunfight is a race, and it's a race to see generally who can put the first round accurately on target. Hopefully it's going to be okay. What are we on now? So we're on 6 rounds. I'm going to let the situation develop for a few more seconds, and we're going to do a reload. Top that round count off. So at this point I'm going to move to this area here, and I'm going to keep eyes down in this hallway, because at this, up until about this area here, I'm not really a threat to this area isn't really a threat to me. But if someone comes out here, it's an issue. Obviously assuming there isn't someone who's coming out of this room and is taking up position over there. But again, this is one-man CQB, that's the reality of it. So once we get that point, we are going to start focusing on this doorway. Okay, so this is a fridge. Fridges are generally solid things. I'm going to have Storm move around and take up position behind this fridge, and we're going to keep him eyes into that room. Hopefully I can clear most of this room without actually having to go into it. Okay, so we seem to be in a relatively good space. We've got this dead space over here that I am going to have to clear, but I would say once I've cleared about this much of this room, it's highly unlikely. Well, it's highly unlikely, but again, there is a likelihood. But it's unlikely that someone's standing on the toilet. So we're going to move in, and the moment we breach that room, we're going to clear that little corner. From there, we should already be able to see inside the room, and then we're going to establish a point of dominance there and hold that door. Okay, so that room is clear, and we can focus on this door. Now I'm going to want to clear as much of this room again from outside the room. So I'm going to open the door using this wall for whatever cover I can. I'm going to move backwards and try to clear at least this area from outside the room, exposing as little of me as possible. So let's open the door. Okay, as soon as that door is open, I want our dude to move back, and then I want you to keep your focus inside that room. Good shooting. Okay, so I'm just going to bring him a bit down, and that should allow him to see a bit more of that room. Okay, so at this point, obviously this is your own house, you would know that all that's left in this room is this bed, but you still have to clear it. So I'm going to move forward, and as soon as I break that threshold, I am going to clear that corner. Okay, so that room is clear. Now this door is already open, but I don't want to come out of the door. I would rather come around this corner. I am going to have to make a decision about, am I going to clear this bathroom first or this bedroom? It's going to be a tricky one. So let's move Storm back out to about here. And until he's out of line of sight of that room, we are going to have him continue to focus on that room. Once he's here, he can focus that way, and then we are going to be focusing down the hall once we get down the hall. Okay, so we've got dead space, and dead space. This is difficult, right? Because if I'm opening this door, I'm exposing myself to this door. If I'm opening this door, I'm exposing myself to this door. But I would want to clear this first, so I know that when I go in here, I've got nothing else to worry about. So we're going to move up to that door and open it and expose little of ourselves to what's in that door, in that room as possible. And then just take a step back. Okay, we can clear this room without making entry. I honestly feel we'll be able to do so. So let's see. Okay, there's only this little corner, but I am going to want to make sure there's no one hunched over in that corner. So we're going to move him in, and as soon as he breaks that threshold. Okay, so now we only have one room. And this is the main room. So I'm going to want our dude to move up to this door, and when he opens it, to have eyes down this way. So that exposes, if you are anywhere in this room, it's a very small angle to hit Storm, but Storm has a very large angle to hit anyone inside the room. Okay, so this is our HVT. This is a bad guy. Look at the proximity of these guys to each other. Accuracy matters, right? And again, it's a gunfight. It's a race, sorry. Who's going to be able to get their gun up and into the fight first? Now, ask yourself the question, are you prepared and have you trained well enough to be able to make this shot with a bad guy standing right next to your wife or your son or your daughter or your brother, sister, your husband, your mother, your father, etc.?
Don't move!
Okay, so we probably took some hits there. I'm not surprised. At the end of the day, you probably are going to take hits if you ever did this in real life. But the problem here is we've got dead space here, and we've got dead space here, and we've got our HVT here, who is more than likely going to freak out. So we are going to breach this room take the path of least resistance, and hold up here. Before we get into the room, we're going to make sure we've covered across ourselves. The moment we break that threshold, we are going to focus on this dead space, and then focus on this door over here, which we haven't cleared. Okay, so one more bad guy. That is why the instant we break this threshold, we need to ensure we get eyes on part of the room we haven't seen. Okay, so we took our second bad guy down. At this point, it's only this walk-in closet that is still an issue for us. So I'm going to have Storm, I can't have him move around that table. Let's just cancel that movement. I'm going to have him move to this area here behind this table and keep eyes on that door. Realistically now, our only threat comes in from that door opening. And there you go. Mission failed. Target was killed because of inaccuracy. That's how it goes sometimes, guys. That's the reality of it. Let's play the mission back. I'll play it back for you in full speed without any of the controls on, and you can see how long this would have taken in real life. Let's have a look.
They're here! Terrified.
So guys, mission failed. We executed our HVT. Look, the HVT freaked out, right? And that's the reality of the situation sometimes. You can't control what other people do. Let's switch the view and we can have a quick discussion and end off. Okay guys, so that's my views on one-man CQB. I think it's really difficult, I think it's really dangerous, and I think if it's going to be taught, it needs to be taught with a degree of reverence. It needs to be taught with a degree of explanation and understanding that the student who's learning it has to understand when and where it is applicable. And that's the point, the only point of this video. I'm not here to teach you. Everything I say is an opinion, nothing is a recommendation. If you know better, you generally will know better than me. And if your instructor says Ryan's wrong, please believe your instructor over me. Like I said, I'm merely a trained civilian. I know you guys are going to want to know what games I'm playing in this video. The first-person shooter game is Ground Branch, and the top-down shooter game is Door Kickers 2 Task Force North. I'll throw my PC specs up on the screen if you want to get this for yourselves. I'm considering giving a copy away to my patrons. If there is a patron out there who is interested, let me know, and I'll hook you up. If you want to become a patron, it's the first link in the video description below. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, it's the first comment. That's it, guys. Be safe, train hard. I'll see you soon. Cheers. God bless.